Alrighty, guys, welcome back to the Sleuth Intuition channel. I'm your host, Patrick Vallejos. We are broadcasting to the world live from Phoenix, Arizona. This is our continued trial coverage for the Richard Allen trial. He is accused of killing Abby and Libby at a Delphi, February 13th, 2017. Yesterday, just around 5 p.m., the prosecution did rest their case. We'll go ahead and go over the recap from day 12. So we'll focus in on confessions to Richard Allen's mother, Janice. Actually, we'll look at all of the confessions. Harshman, who spent a lot of time listening to Richard Allen, says 100% that is the voice that he hears on Libby's video. We'll take a look at his Google searches. We'll spend some time on that. I'd like to hear your opinions. And there was another witness by the name of Teresa Lebert. Now, she lives on the south end of the bridge, and apparently she saw a man near her mailboxes. So we're going to gather a little bit more information on that. We'll see what that's all about. And then whatever's been going on today, I know that they called Cheyenne as a witness yesterday and Brad Weber. Okay, looks like there's some new information here. We'll read that part last. Something about Max Baker. So today is the first day that the defense will go ahead and lay out their case. Should be interesting. What is up, Christine Robbins? And today they have a confidential transport order. I don't know who they're transporting. Was that Keegan Klein? What's up, Boston? Stacy. Olivia 2, She Warrior, Patty, hello. Jill, how are you? Jerry, good morning. Kitty Cat, Ziggy, Beth, Pipers, Curious Charlie, Truffles, Lovely Nurse, welcome in. Jody Lynn, good to see you. Saska, how are you? Copper, what's up? Doris, Grunge Truck. They said he was about 250 pounds when he first came, when he was first arrested. Now he's under 170. What's up, TJ? H. Nixon. Sparky, good morning. The Maven. From Cambodia. Shout out to Cambodia. V. Marie, happy Friday. 13th day of this trial. First day for the defense. I'm really curious as to how they're going to lay this out. Welcome in, Alex. I think the transport order is for Jesse James. Well, they've successfully had 2 approved, one for Keegan Klein and one for this Jesse James character. She Warrior. Shout out to Laredo, Texas. Says we want justice for Abby and Libby. Thank you for that. Okay, we'll do a recap and then we'll read everything that's just been released as of this morning. So this is from wishtv.com. They have a live blog. It's been the most accurate so far. So this would have been yesterday. This one's titled, Trooper Harshman continues to describe Allen's calls and his behavior. Court is back in session at 1:34 p.m. Master Trooper Brian Harshman is still on the stand. The prosecution is conducting redirect. The prosecution plays a call from May 17th of 2023. This call had technical issues earlier this morning and was not played. The jury is given a transcript. Judge Gull reminds the jury the transcript is not evidence. The actual call is. The call is from Alan to his mother, Janice. Alan says, "I'm all right, I guess." Janice says, "It's good to hear." Alan asks, "Did Kathy tell you that I did it?" Janice says, "We're not going to discuss this, okay? We love you. We know that, don't you? You know that, don't you?" Alan responds, "Regardless?" Janice pauses and then says, "Yes." Harshman tells the jury that Alan talks to therapists every day. He says Alan has had to be restrained at the Cass County Jail recently. He tells the jury he viewed a video over the lunch break today that showed Alan at the Cass County Jail screaming, swearing, saying to a guard he is going to effing kill him. Defense attorney Brad Rosie objects, saying none of this has been in discovery. They request a sidebar. At 1:52 p.m., Judge Gull says court will take a break while the defense can view the video and will come back at 2:15 p.m. So we'll pause there for a moment. Good to see you, V. Linda, how are you? I'm more curious to hear what you guys have to say about him. Honestly, Linda, when it comes to the Google searches, I'll tell you my opinion, but I want to hear from you guys first. Ziggy, Miss Dog Lover, CJK, what's going on? Sparky. TJ says, I got to admit the prosecution case was a little underwhelming for having 2 years. They should have hired some of you YouTubers to lay it out. Well, I think they plan to use the defense's case against them. That's what the defense was trying to do during the cross-examination or the redirect or whatever you want to call it. But I don't think they were able to poke any holes in it. So everything that they did present, it's solid, right? Is it going to be enough for the jury? I think that it will be. Cheryl, welcome in. What's going on? Piper's compelling testimony yesterday talking about Holder's Facebook page following the unalives. I think it's bullshit. Yep. I think it's bullshit too. Only because he has an alibi. I mean, Brad Weber is a better person of interest than any of those people, right? And I think that they're starting to see that. He was on our top 5 POIs. Only because we knew a lot about him that we couldn't really talk about in the public. We knew he had a white van. We just didn't know that there was a white van seen that day. So when I first read that about the white van, it clicked. I was like, well, he does have a white van. Damn. So when it comes to the box cutter and the white van and the way Richard Allen tells the story, I think that's going to seal the deal. Unless the defense can kind of rip that apart. Good to see you, Doris. Daily Survivor, welcome in. Stephanie K. Order in the court. Who's AG? What's going on, Ziggy? Phil Bond, welcome in. Who else we got here? Dana, the Google searches were irrelevant for me. Nothing related to being a murderer or guilt or anything. Lily, if I were on the jury, I would be on the guilty side right now. I agree. So I think they'll find him guilty as long as the defense can't bring up anything contradictory to any of the evidence that was put forth by the prosecution. But if they can poke holes in it, we'll see. Cheryl, who is Jesse James? He is somebody who is in prison for child molest. He's actually scheduled to be released this month, I think around the 14th. And he's being called by the defense for some reason. I'm assuming he was locked up with Richard Allen. He's going to maybe testify about his situation and how he was treated. So they're going to go ahead and try to break apart his confessions and say he was under psychosis or whatever. Hey, Cindy, what's up? I don't get the Google searches. Jury could see them, but not the courtroom. No one can. Yeah, they weren't read aloud. They were given, I think, on a list, and the media was able to see the list, is the way I understand it. What's going on, She Warrior? Ryan Jagger, I still don't understand all the tentacles Doug Carter was talking about. Honestly, Doug will say anything to get the media to back down for a week or two. That's why he's there. He's like a shield. Do we know what the Google searches or email thing was? Yeah, we have them all, and we'll go over them in just a minute. But Brad Weber is too tall to be the bridge guy. Yep. But was he working with the bridge guy? He kind of fits into the kidnapping narrative. But the thing about Brad Weber is that he was fully cooperating from the beginning. They were able to search his property without even getting a search warrant. Kay Weber met with the FBI here in Arizona. I believe they met at a McDonald's, actually. And she said, you have my full authorization to take, to seize, to search any part of my property. And they were really on to Brad. They're like, man, this guy fits, he fits the description to a degree. The timeline fits with him. He lives right here. And if you were going to kill somebody, like you remember they tried to blame Ron Logan, why would he leave him on his property? So it made more sense if it was Brad Weber, he would, put the victims on the other side. Kind of like what you think Ron Logan would do if he killed somebody on his property. He would take them away from his property. So yeah, everybody looked at him, law enforcement looked at him, and apparently he was cleared. Has the same type of gun as Richard Allen. I think it's a Sig Sauer P226 and everything. I believe they tested it. Don't quote me on that, but that's something that I had in my notes a long time ago, in some old notes. And that's when we first heard about the 40 caliber bullet, was how it was relating to Brad Weber. But don't quote me on it. Stephanie says Greeno. You think I sound like Greeno? That's a first. Bully Graphics. I've heard Weber looks like he's a meth user. No, he seems like a normal guy. He's missing a big toe on his right foot, I think. Honestly, he seems like a totally normal guy. He has wigged out on a few different occasions when people are trespassing on his property. I've spoken to those women personally. They say that he trapped them on his property, but I'm sure he's getting frustrated. I talked to Anna Williams about that, and I was like, how do you feel about that? She's like, well, they shouldn't be trespassing. And like, she was on his side all the way. You can tell that she respects Brad Weber. And she has no suspicion about him. Dory, I think Richard Allen's daughter was on the defense. And I think the reason they're going to call his daughter is so that she can get up on the stand and say, well, my father never once, touched me or molested me or whatever. Because right now the confessions are painting him like he's some kind of sick pervert. I molested all these boys, these girls, my daughter, my sister. He molested everybody. But the defense is going to paint a picture of more like he's crazy. And he could be. Like he could be guilty and still be going crazy. Like both things can be true at the same time. Yeah, we'll get to that, Cindy. We're going to finish this recap real quick. Bully says Elvis initially said he can explain his. That's not what he said at all. See, I think people, they take things out of context. Hey, Charlie Murphy. It was testified to Brad Weber's gun was tested, and the gun could not be ruled out as being the gun that made the ejection marks. Interesting. I haven't seen that. Can you send that to me, Charlie? I haven't been able to. You're the second person who's said that to me, but I can't find that anywhere. So I feel like that's just one of those rumors that's starting to spread around. Right, TJ. I haven't seen anything suggesting that Brad Weber is some kind of a meth head. He actually seems like a down to earth guy. Does a lot of fishing. I don't know. He seems like a normal dude. But man, did he have opportunity? I believe he sure did. Matra. Yeah, two things can be true at the same time. Like I covered a case of a guy who he went crazy, right? Legally and medically, that was what was stated there in court. That was the official ruling that he was insane. Well, even though he was insane at the time of the crime, he blacked out completely. They proved it. He was still malingering, right? He still felt the need to act insane in prison, even though he was faking it. But the judge knew that he was faking it and still said, it doesn't matter if he's malingering or faking these symptoms. The fact of the matter is that he was insane at the time of the crime. So people are motivated to act real strange or to do certain things, to try to help their case. They think they're being smart. And I think that's what Richard Allen was doing to an extent as well. Roxy, Richard Allen said that he did let his daughter and 3 other people. Yeah. Kevin, a guy named Chris, somebody by the name of Don. Chris, apparently, he said was his best friend. You think so, Yonder? He was kind of he was being dropped off by law enforcement. He said, "Hey, if I spit on one of the girls, but I could explain it away, would I be in trouble?" So I think he was trying to act smart or act like he knew something about DNA. So he said something more along those lines. And then he told his sister that he had something to do with the crime. He was on the bridge that day, and he tried to give her like a blue jacket. But Elvis Fields, he looks like the vibes I get off of him are that any attention to him is good. He reminds me of one of those false confessors. I believe that his sister was being honest when she said, yeah, it appeared he pretty much confessed that he had something to do with the murder of Abby and Libby. And he even tried to give me a blue jacket. I think she was being honest. I just think he loved the attention. He seems like a very lonely person. He's like, I guess I have to act like a killer in order to get attention from my own sister. You know what I mean? Like, damn, they're finally paying attention to me. What's up, Dragon Keeper? Blue line. Okay, let's continue on with this recap here. So, defense attorney Brad Rosie continues his cross examination of ISP Master Trooper Harshman. Harshman confirms that he read reports about Brad Weber from February of 2017 from two different agents. Rosie says that Harshman's theory doesn't take into consideration that Weber could have looked at his phone or gone to the gas station because he believes the van had to be there at 2:20 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Rosie asks Harshman if Weber could have been involved in the crime if he is placed there at that time. Harshman says no. Rosie asks if Allen had an injection. Would that have affected his voice? Prosecution objects to the question and says that it calls for speculation. Harshman responds that he did not have any clue what medication Allen was on while he was listening to his phone calls. Harshman agrees that Allen lost privacy when in custody. Rosie asks if seeing video of Allen's cell would be helpful for context. Harshman says he doesn't believe so. Harshman says he had never been asked to monitor somebody in a pretrial situation like Allen before. Rosie references the May 2023 confession from Allen where he said he was lying in wait. Rosie points out that in the Bridge Guy video, the man behind the girls was walking. Harshman says he could have very well been lying in wait. And then the girls walked by and he followed. Rosie says Allen's reference to the van was general, not specific. Is that the only van in Carroll County at the time? Rosie asked. Harshman says that was the only van on 625 at the time. So that van is huge. Harshman says he has been listening to Allen's call since the trial has started and continues to report it if needed. Rosie says Allen has also proclaims his innocence on calls. Harshman says he notes that. Harshman also told the jury he has visited Westfield 2 or 3 times over the course of the investigation and visited Allen's cell at the Cass County Jail. He tells the jury his cell has a table, a small commissary, and a shower. Harshman tells the jury he has possibly seen video of Allen eating his feces. He says Allen's actions are because he is in constant need of attention. He tells the jury that Allen said that on phone calls. Harshman told the jury he has seen Allen rolling around in food and maybe feces. And if you guys are wondering what feces are, they're baby mice. Just kidding. Rosie tells Harshman that he should have said something to the medical staff. Harshman says that would be out of his lane. Rosie references the November 2022 call where Allen says he was willing to do whatever it took to make sure his wife didn't take the heat. What does that mean? Willing to do whatever it took to make sure his wife didn't take the heat. Why would she take any heat? He mentions the April 2022 call where Allen referenced a call he made to his stepdad. Harshman confirms that Allen did make a call earlier that day to his parents' house at 3:12 a.m. He confirms that Allen made a call that same day at 8:45 a.m. Prosecutor McClellan continually objects to Rosie, keeps asking questions. Goal calls for them to approach the bench. Continuing, Rosie says the bulk of the confessions came in April through June of 2023. He asks Harshman if that was the same time that Allen was engaged in bizarre behaviors. Harshman says yes. Harshman says the specific confessions from May 2023 had detail only the killer would know. What's going on, Anna? We've heard reports of the rambling of a madman. Richard Allen is not a good writer, yet the written confession is written in best legal form and signed by Richard Allen. Who wrote that confession? Welcome in, Fight for Justice. Hello. What's up, Jay? Who was the guy he rode to school with? That's just somebody that I talked to behind the scenes. One of my sources. What's going on, Boston? Thank you, Copper. Yeah, if you guys could go hit the like button, go share this on your X feed, go share it on your YouTube channel and on Facebook. Get some more folks in here talking about what the hell is going on here. What's going on, Brad? Charlie says the expert that tested Allen's gun testified on cross that Brad Weber's gun could not be ruled out. Can you send that to me? I don't doubt you. I've just been looking for it and I can't find it. So if you know that information, you have to have a source. Just send that over to me, and then we can talk about it a little bit more. Yes, she was honest, but he wasn't being honest. What's up, D? Blue Line says Charlie Murphy. I don't think they said it was Weber's gun on the stand. From my understanding, is she said I tested 8 guns and only Richard Allen's matched. That's the information I have. But if she was to say, well, only Richard Allen's matched, but I can't exclude Weber's, that'd be, that kind of fits too. But I didn't hear that part. What's up, Melissa? Well, I think it's more about pressure. And I think the point that the expert is trying to make is it doesn't matter how you get the markings. The fact that they're tool marks and they match is the point. So I think that's what they're trying to convey. Like, you can get these markings however you need to, but the fact of the matter is they only match with Richard Allen's gun. TJ says, I'm confused to why no one thought to maybe ask for the jacket from Elvis Fields. Well, the thing is, we've had dozens of people confess to these crimes. And from my understanding, they have a good idea where Elvis Fields was. He's not considered a suspect. Nobody can put him in Delphi that day or near Delphi. So why would they even be worried about a jacket? Yeah, I get what you're saying, Blue Line. I think that goes for every gun, right? If the prosecution uses anything similar to what I saw Gray Hughes do yesterday, using the timeline with witness statements, Allen statements, then he's getting convicted. What's up, Betsy Ross? Mustang. Loxy, how's it going? Yeah, the timing with the van. I think that was huge for the prosecution. Captain Ravioli. baby mice. I think that's from the Donnie Darko movie. Okay, let's continue on here. Harshman tells the jury that this is the first report he'd seen with details from Allen on the crime. He says the detail that stuck out was about the van. Prior to that, he had not heard about a van. The only person that would have seen a van there would have been Libby, Abby, and the person that killed them, Harshman told the jury. Harshman tells the jury that he looked up to see who lived at that residence and found who owned it. He ran the BMV check on Brad Weber, the man who owned the property. Harshman realized that Weber owned a 2000 Ford Econoline van. The state enters the van as an exhibit. Harshman said he got reports from Weber early on in the investigation. He said that he interviewed Weber August of 2024. He said that none of the reports from that day of the murders reported that Weber drove a van. Harshman said he didn't think those reports were public. He tells the jury he filed a report on his interview with Weber. News 8's Kyla Russell reports that it is important to note that Dr. Walla testified Wednesday that Allen made the specific confession involving the van in May of 2023 and that Harshman interviewed Weber in August of 2024. The prosecution plays the Down the Hill video of Harshman. Harshman is viewing the stabilized version, which is timestamped February 13th, 2017. Harshman received Libby's health app data from ISP Sergeant Cecil, who was the state's police's phone expert. Harshman tells the jury that Libby's phone stopped moving at 2:32 p.m. that day. Prosecutor Nick McClellan asked him how that information aligns with what he got from Weber. Harshman says the van was on that road between 2:27 p.m. and 2:30 p.m. He tells the jury he recognizes the voice from Allen's jail phone calls, that the voice is the same as the bridge guy. So you have the van driving on the private drive between 2:27 and 2:30. So Richard Allen killed the girls about 2 minutes after that, or somewhere shortly after that. At 11:10 a.m., defense attorney Brad Rosie begins his cross-examination of Harshman. Harshman says there were 14,000 tips about the crime. Many were identified as being about Bridge Guy's voice. The jury tells Judge Gold they need a break, and court is in recess at 11:15 a.m. Thank you, Alex. Good to see you, Anthony France. How you doing, my friend? Welcome in. It's just me. Good to see you. Timmy, how are you? Feces are baby mice. Yeah, if you guys didn't know, feces, that means baby mice. I kid. Bully says, considering law enforcement can legally lie to a suspect, it's hard for me to see the logic in believing or not questioning every word of law enforcement. Amy Darcy, what's up? Hello. Trying to figure out if they may know Kevin or Don, not trying to out anyone. I don't know. This person interacted with Richard Allen when he was a kid and a teenager. So I have a feeling this Chris, Kevin, and Don, I think that might be after that time period. What's going on, Funkarella? I don't think they said Weber, only that SIG was tested and couldn't be ruled out. Yeah, I think it was more of a blanket statement. What's going on, Blind Squirrel? Welcome in. Miss Smala, good to see you. War Kittens, good afternoon. Okay, let's continue on with these updates. I think this is from this morning. Or no, maybe, yeah, I think this was actually yesterday. Master Trooper Brian Harshman, a 30-year veteran of the Indiana State Police, was the first witness called on Thursday. Harshman said he became involved in the Delphi investigation April 2020, just over 3 years after the murders. Harshman told the court he became the phone guy, meaning he monitored Allen's communication from inside custody to the outside world. He says he monitored calls, video chats, and texts. He said he has listened and re-listened to 700 hours of Allen's calls. Jeez. The trooper told the jury he believes the voice of the bridge guy video is absolutely Richard Allen's. See, that's huge. Nobody's going to know his voice more than Harshman. But I don't know if that's admissible. I'm pretty sure the defense is going to tear that apart. Listen to 700 hours of Allen's calls. The trooper told the jury he believes the voice in the bridge guy video is absolutely Richard Allen. Dang, that could be damning right there. Harshman testified that Allen either calls his wife or his mother, adding that he makes incriminating statements. Prosecution started by playing several phone calls between Allen and his wife, Kathy, including an outgoing call placed on April 3rd, 2023. And here's just a few of those. Richard Allen: I did it. I killed Abby and Libby. His wife says, no, you didn't. No, you didn't, dear. Don't say that. You weren't feeling well. They messed up your meds. Kathy Allen says, why would you say that? Richard Allen says, maybe I did commit the murders. Kathy Allen says, they are messing with your mind. Something is not right. Don't ever say you did it. I know you didn't. Richard Allen says, I think I did. Kathy says, they're fooling with you, trying to get you to say things. Richard Allen then asked his wife to apologize to the girls' families, to which she replied, just don't talk anymore. In many of the calls, both Allen's wife and mom, Janice, assure him he did not kill the girls, also telling him he was mentally ill. They asked him at the time not to talk about the crimes over the phone. Allen also mentioned in the calls several times that he felt he had lost his mind inside Westville. The prosecution rested its case just before 5 p.m., and the defense called its first two witnesses. First up was a woman named Cheyenne Mill. Mill and her best friend were hiking on the Monon High Bridge trails on February 13th, 2017, and crossed the bridge around 2:50. So the girls were most likely already had passed away at this time. She said she never saw anything strange in the woods that day, but recalled she and her friend passed an overweight man on the bridge. I think this gets cleared up a little bit later as on the trails on the way to the bridge, that would have been Derek German, Libby's father, who was out there looking for him, or looking for the girls. She said she took a few Snapchat photos of the afternoon and later told police where she was. She also said she never saw Richard Allen. The second and final witness to testify Thursday was Teresa Lebert. Lebert lives near the bridge and said she saw somebody strange near the mailboxes close to her house. She also said she reported it to police. Now, I didn't get a timeline on that, so I don't know at what time Teresa Lebert saw a strange man near her mailboxes, but I'm going to show you exactly where that's at. The defense said at the end of the day, they were working out exactly how they will move forward on calling witnesses as they wait on Special Judge Francis Gall. So give me a second here. I'm going to try to find this video. Okay, I got it here. So let's talk about this whole Teresa Lebert thing. So this video is from Bill from the Delphi Timeline YouTube channel. We shared the beginning of it yesterday, just so you guys can get an idea of the south side of the bridge and the private drive and where the van would have been. Would be right down there on that road. So this is where Libby would have been standing. And we now know that Abby was saying something like, "Don't leave me up here. Is the guy still behind me?" She said, "Yeah." And it's almost as if they were looking for a place to go. And they were telling each other, "Well, the only place to go is down here." And then before they know it, there's a gun being cocked. They say gun. And he says, "Get down the hill." But now we've recently learned that somebody by the name of Teresa Lebert. Now, Teresa Lebert, this is the end of the private drive. Here, maybe I need to pull it up on a map. I feel like you guys are going to be in the dark. Hold on. So she said something about mailboxes. So this would be the Weber property here. Private drive goes under the bridge, and this is the down the hill area right here. Well, if you follow the private drive, Teresa lives somewhere over here in this area, towards the end. And in the video we're about to see, you're going to see the mailboxes that are somewhere in this area. What's up, Scott? So Teresa's reporting that she's seeing some strange guy out here by her mailboxes. Now, what time was this? Is this the bridge guy? Did Richard Allen try to access the private drive before parking at the CPS building? Is he trying to be strategic? Or is this just some random guy that's not connected to all this? Or is it a second perpetrator? So there's the mailboxes right there. Unless, did he just pass some other ones right there on the left? What's that right there on the left? Oh, that's a fence. Okay. So Teresa Lebert's reporting somebody right here by these mailboxes. A strange person. So who the hell is this person? And what time is it? It would, if it was Richard Allen, it would have to be before 1:30. It would have to be like around 1:15, 1:20. And then he would have to drive away and go back around, which isn't a long drive at all. But Teresa Lebert saying that she saw a strange man. I'm assuming it's going to be prior to the murders, but if anybody can get that information, send it to me so we can update that. I think that's going to be important. It's too bad we don't have more information on that. Let me go to my emails here. I got something from Frank Meister. Okay, yeah, these are some more than I have here. So we'll look at those right now. And here is the latest update from the hearings today. At 9:01 a.m., the jury entered the courtroom and the court is back in session. Judge Gold tells the defense attorney, Brad Rosie, that they will chat about his motions he filed on transports during the lunch break. Gull says the jury has once again had supervised contact with their electronic devices. And the defense calls Christopher Goutte, and the state immediately calls for a sidebar. The sidebar lasts for 9 minutes. So Christopher, that name, I think that's the person who interviewed Brad Holder. So that must be why they were having a sidebar, saying this is irrelevant. News 8's Kyla Russell is back in Delphi for continuing coverage of the double murder trial of Richard Allen. The prosecution rested its case just before 5 p.m. Thursday. Allen's defense team called 2 witnesses. All right, we already heard that. Okay, now these are some of the confessions that stood out to me. Allen asked Kathy if he can trust Brad and Andy. So he asked his wife, "Can I trust Brad and Andy, his attorneys?" Kathy says, "Yes, they are our lawyers." Allen says, "I think I need to tell you something. I need you to know that I did this." Kathy says, "Dear, there's no way. I love you, honey, but no, you have not done anything. You are not well." Allen says again that he is losing his mind and says it feels like it's taking forever. "I'm just trying to be at peace with everything." Kathy says, Allen says he had a dream that he needed to let Kathy go. Kathy says, "You're dreaming things again?" "I have to let you know I did it," Allen says. So I thought it was interesting in that one he brought up Brad and Andy. And then here he says, "I may have to spend the rest of my life in here. I don't understand." Kathy says, "You're not well." Allen says, "I'm well. Yes, I am, honey." "If I get the electric chair," Kathy interrupts and says, "That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. This isn't right. They've messed you up so bad." Allen says, "I did it. I've got someone listening to me right now." Kathy tells him, "No, you didn't. We're going to be back together." Allen tells her, "I've been trying to let you go." She responds, "I'll be with you. Please stop talking." So he's trying to confess. Allen says, "She knows that I done it, right?" Kathy says, "I don't want to think about that." Allen says, "I'm just in a really frustrating spot right now. Nobody will talk to me. Don't feel like anybody is willing to be honest with me right now." I think he's talking about his defense team. Like they won't listen to him. He's trying to confess, like, "Look, guys, I did this. Help me go in that direction." They're like, "No, no, no. No, we're going to get you off of this." It's more like these attorneys are fighting for Kathy Allen and not Richard Allen, right? Like you don't know what you're talking about, Richard Allen. You don't want to confess. They fucked you up in here. They're messing with your mind. And so they're just really Kathy Allen's defense team, not Richard Allen's. That's why he's asking questions like, "Can Brad and Andy be trusted?" "I don't feel like anybody is willing to be honest with me right now." Right? So he's trying to confess. They will not let him. Allen says, "I don't want to upset you." Kathy tells him she is already upset. Allen says he feels like he's lost his mind. Kathy says, "You can't call me and talk like this, okay?" Allen says, "I'm sorry, baby." Kathy tells him she cannot talk to him right now. Allen says, "I didn't want to do this, honey. I'm so sorry. You aren't going to do any to yourself, okay? Probably going to have to kill myself now," Richard Allen says. Prosecution moves ahead to August of 2024. He shows the jury a report from Dr. Monica Walla, the psychologist that worked with Allen. In the report, Allen described what he did on the day of the murders. In the report, Allen said he went to his parents' home, didn't go to lunch with them. He bought a 6-pack of beer, drank three of them, and went to the trails. He said he saw the girls and did something to his gun and the bullet fell out. He told them down the hill. Allen said in the report that he thought the girls were older and intended to SA them. He then said he saw a van and killed them. He then covered their bodies with sticks and left, according to the report. Fast forward to his confession with his mother. The call is from Alan to his mother. Janice. Alan says, I'm all right, I guess. Janice says, it's good to hear. Alan asked, did Kathy tell you that I did it? So he's been trying to confess from the very beginning, guys. So if his mental health is deteriorating, it's because his defense team refused to go in that direction and to give him any normalcy. They dragged it out, in my opinion. They don't care about Richard Allen. Okay, let's get into these Google searches. So I'm going to read the ones I have, and then I'm going to show you the ones that were sent over by Frank Meister. What's up, Diamonds? I feel sick over this tragedy. Abby and Libby lost their life, and people still want to say Richard Allen is mistreated. Blah, blah, blah. The only ones mistreated were the two innocent girls. Yeah, nobody even mentions them. What's up, Andy? So people think Weber left for work at 2:02, got back home, 10 minutes, had some clothes as Richard Allen, and then abducted the girls. Yeah, they'll bite on anything. He's the flavor of the month. The second they mention his name, he's the number one POI with a bullet. Right? He's on the pop charts, the POI charts. They're just grasp at anything but the factual information. I did something with the gun. That's how the bullet came out. Here, let me put this up on the screen. So these will be his Google searches here. All right, so these are all the ones that I collected, and then Frank Meister sent me a few more here. So the searches are from Alan's Gmail account and were done on one of his devices. On October 2nd, 2022, less than 2 weeks before he was initially questioned in the case, Allen searched for 65 plus best kidnapping and hostage movies ever made. The other searches from the same day included Man Held Hostage by Teen and a movie about a man being held against his will. So it looks like he might be trying to remember a name of a movie. On October 17th, 2022, he searched ABC News for an article about the Delphi murders that would have been 4 days after investigators initially questioned him about the case. On May 27th, 2020, he searched for a story about rebuilding the Monon High Bridge. In May of 2021, he searched for shooting ranges. Allen also searched multiple times about the Delphi case, according to the records. On August 4th and August 5th, 2022, he did 5 searches for Delphi murders update. That's interesting. That's just a couple months before he found himself at the center of the case. I wonder why he was all of a sudden interested in the case. Between January 2022 and April 2022, Allen did a general search for Delphi 11 times. Also in April 2022, he searched Should I Die Now? What the fuck? It appeared Allen had an interest in disturbing movies. On April 27th, 2022, he searched for insidious and horrifying things to watch. In another search from June 2023, he looked for the most effed up thing to watch on Netflix, according to the analysis. On May 27th, 2020, he searched for a story about, okay, we already talked about that. And then this was sent over to me. He searched Delphi murder updates, Texas elementary school shooting. That's interesting because somebody was searching on one of Keegan Klein's devices, the Sandy Hook victims. Remember? And Keegan Klein was like, that ain't me. That wasn't me. But apparently somebody was trying to see the bodies of the Sandy Hook victims on one of his devices. And he said it wasn't him. Disturbing and terrifying things on Netflix. More searches for Delphi murder updates and just Delphi in general. Looking for best kidnapping and hostage movies ever made. Man held against his will. A movie. Man held hostage by teen killing of a sacred deer. The fuck? May of 2020. Delphi murders. News stories about Delphi, rifle ranges, and applied ballistics. Whoa, that's pretty interesting. April of 2022. Should I Die Now? Most disturbing movie ever. What is the darkest? Oh no, this was redacted. On Netflix. Very strange, if you ask me. But I know a lot of you are like, well, I'm into creepy shit too. But yeah, but he I feel like he has something. He's very interested in kidnapping. So I don't know what that's all about. So I did something. I typed in best kidnapping / hostage all time movies. Let me zoom in on this. So number 1 was Prisoners, Inception, Silence of the Lambs, great movie. Old Boy, this is a really great movie. But none of these movies would I search for through kidnapping. None of these make me think of kidnapping movies. There's kidnapping that takes place. Why is he searching the word kidnapping and hostage? If I was wanting to watch Silence of the Lambs, I don't think about the kidnapping part. You know, it's more Hannibal Lecter and Clarice Starling. Old Boy. I don't know. I don't think about being kidnapped. It's more like the entire movie is about a guy who's being imprisoned. V for Vendetta. I don't think about kidnapping when I think of that movie. Gran Torino, Guardians of the Galaxy. So I just think it was weird that he's being accused of kidnapping and murder, and that seems to be something that he's into. So if you were looking for, let's say, the movie Old Boy, you're not going to say the most disturbing kidnapping and hostage movie. You know, you're going to describe it in a different way. But that's just me.
Has now rested its case. The prosecution has now rested its case in the Delphi murders trial after 12 days and 40 witnesses. Thanks for inviting us in. It's now 11 o'clock. The state ended with some of its most powerful evidence, Richard Allen's prison phone calls. The jury hearing Allen admit to killing Abby Williams and Libby German. And now the defense team is on the clock. Tonight, our Emily Longnecker is in Carroll County breaking down the biggest moments from inside the courtroom.
The state rested its case against Richard Allen today. Before they did, though, the jury heard from Richard Allen in his own voice, in his own words, confessions that he made to his wife and mother over the phone that he killed Abby and Libby. Thursday morning, the prosecution played 7 phone calls Allen made from prison. 5 of them where he confesses to his wife, Kathy, that he committed the murders. In one of those calls in April 2023, Allen tells his wife, "I did it. I killed Abby and Libby." She replies, "No, you didn't." Richard Allen, "I did." Kathy Allen, "No, you didn't." Richard Allen, "Yes, I did." Later, Kathy Allen says again, "No,
He
you
just wants
didn't.
to
Why would
confess.
you say that?" Richard Allen says, "What if I did? I think I did." Kathy Allen tells her husband, "They're screwing with you. They're messing with your mind." Richard Allen replies, "I think I did." Kathy Allen, "No, you didn't. Why would you say that?" Richard Allen, "Because I think I did."
What's up,
Then,
bad
in a
actors?
May phone call, Allen confesses to his mother, too. Janice Allen starts the call by saying, "It's good to hear your voice." Richard Allen replies, "So did Kathy tell you I did it?" Janice Allen, "We're not going to discuss this, okay? We love you. You know that, don't you?" Richard Allen, "Regardless?" Janice Allen, "Yeah." Later in the phone call, Allen tells his mother, "I love you." She tells him, "I just know you don't have it in you to do something like this." Allen replies, "Mom, why would I tell you I did it if I didn't?"
Mom, why would I tell you I did it if I didn't? That's huge right there.
The prosecution also replayed the video from Libby German's cell phone with Bridge Guy telling Abby and Libby, "Down the hill." That's when prosecutor Nicholas McClellan asked Trooper Brian Harshman, who listened to all 700 calls Allen has made from jail in the past 2 years, if he recognizes the voice on Libby's cell phone video. Harshman looked right at the defendant and said, "It's the voice of Richard Allen." Thursday afternoon, Allen's defense team began presenting their case to the jury. They called 2 witnesses. One woman, Cheyenne Mill, told the jury she and a friend were on the Monon High Bridge the day the girls disappeared. Mill told the jury they got there at 2:50 and saw an overweight man as they walked on a trail leading to the bridge. Mill also testified she and her friend said hi to the man, but he didn't say anything back. Mill said she and her friend crossed the bridge and when they got to the end, turned around and came back, leaving the area just after 4. Mill testified they didn't hear or see anything that seemed suspicious. The next day, she said she called police after Abby and Libby's bodies were
What's up,
found,
Mo?
offering up pictures they'd posted the day before on Snapchat to back up her timeline. The defense's second witness, Teresa Lebert, told the jury she lives across the creek from where the girls' bodies were found. She testified the morning of February 13th, a man she didn't recognize was standing near a group of mailboxes near her house. Lebert told the jury it seemed strange because she wasn't used to seeing people that weren't neighbors in that secluded area. Lebert said by the time she took a second glance, the man was gone. She told the jury she reported it after the girls' bodies were found, but said she didn't get a good look at the man's face and has never seen him again.
Sophie says that was at about. Where did you get that information, Sophie? Can you send it to me? It says 8:30 a.m. I don't think that's correct. War Kitten says, my problem is why did his lawyers not intervene about his competency to participate in his defense if they thought his mental issues were severe? I think they tried to. I think it was all shot down. Hey, Purdue, what's going on? Good to see you. Yankee said around 8:30 a.m. Oh, on the 13th. That makes more sense. 8:30 a.m. on the 13th. She's seen a man by the mailboxes, I believe. Yeah, if anybody can give me that information, send it over to me. Let's figure that out. That's very interesting. Welcome in, AVG. Yeah, it seems to be coming into focus now. Thanks, Frank. War Kitten says, I don't understand how the defense can keep bringing up mental issues, but never once did they bring it up in court. I think they tried to. If you look up on the screen, the image on the far right bottom corner, that's the photograph that they used in a motion They were trying to get those confessions thrown out, and they were using his mental health. Dang, I'm way behind. She said it's someone she's never seen before, or since so it's not Rick Allen, clearly. From what I heard, she couldn't identify the man. But it wasn't one of her neighbors. 8 to 9 a.m. when Lebert said she saw the guy. What's up, Shane? Welcome in. I agree with you, Purdue. I feel like Richard Allen was frustrated, like nobody's listening to me. I just want to get it over with. No. We're going to go ahead and drag this out. We're going to spend over, $4 million of Indiana's money. Cindy, when Richard said he did it alone, I'm torn between another party he's covering for or his personality wanting to reveal this could do this by himself. Yeah, there's a lot of weirdness. He keeps trying to cover for Kathy. Nobody's accusing Kathy. Guy standing near mailboxes 7 to 8:30 a.m. and when she glanced back, he had vanished. Yeah, what the hell's going on with that? Sounds like somebody planning. Yeah, I don't think you can place Elvis anywhere near Delphi. If you could, that'd be huge. If you got a guy who's confessing to his sisters, making statements. The only problem is we have lots of people over the last 7 years that have confessed to killing Abby and Libby. We had some creep online say he did it, that he still has the knife. I don't know why people are weird. I don't doubt that Brad Holder told his ex-wife, is it Amber, I think? I don't doubt that he blamed Patrick Westfall at all. I think she's telling the truth. I think he's lying. I don't know why people do what they do. Oh, I have her address. I just didn't want to dox her. Death penalty in Indiana, but I didn't think the state sought the death penalty. No. It'll put a whole lot of pressure on the jury. I don't think that the prosecution wanted that. Allen mentioned the van before he got discovery. I don't even think it was included in the discovery. CJ. Yep, 100% Purdue. Sounds like he wanted to go ahead and throw in the towel from the beginning. Can I trust my attorneys? I feel like nobody's being honest with me. It's like he's trying to confess. Imagine wanting to confess, but nobody will let you. That's pretty fucked up. Truffle says Kathy is not a victim. I don't know. I don't have an opinion about that just yet. She might be in denial. Mopo, I want to know why Brad originally told law enforcement he was nowhere near home that afternoon, but now his story is he went straight home from work. Saw Sleuth eat some shit. Nothing he says afterward could be taken seriously. Yeah, I don't ever see that in my future. But I get what you're saying. Was he competent? Yeah, it has to be unanimous, Mothra. If there's one holdout, that's all it takes. All right, guys, I think that's going to wrap it up. I'm going to zip on to the bottom and see if there's anybody I missed. Yeah, that didn't make too much sense. Sybil, kidnapping and hostage movies. Yeah, isn't that weird? So he's looking up the Delphi murders constantly. Why is he doing that? That's pretty strange. And he's looking up kidnapping movies. I'm just in the mood for the most fucked up thing I can find on Netflix. Let's see. What is the most fucked up, deranged movie on Netflix? Because that's the shit that I'm into. Does that mean he's guilty? No, but it's not a good look. Exactly, Shane. What's up, Vic? That was at the time Alex Jones was being ridiculous about there being no bodies. Yeah, here's something we kind of just brushed. We kind of went over without really focusing in on it. Badass says, boom. Allied ballistics, meaning he knew he lost a bullet. Truffle says fetish. I mean, he's accused of kidnapping and he's looking, he's searching Netflix for kidnapping movies. What do you guys think about that? What's up, cocktail dress? The search began August 19th. You know what? That's very interesting. That's a few days before the search began. I wonder if he was anticipating something. I believe the Wabash River search started August 19th. Yeah, exactly, Betsy. Best kidnapping movies. You know, it's like he's rooting for the kidnapper. Man, I like a great kidnapping movie. I've never ever said that. I've never heard anyone say that. You know, typically when I'm looking for a movie, it's like top 10 comedy, top 10 horror movie, top 10, top this. Yeah, caricature. If he's found not guilty or acquitted, all they need is new information. They can bring him back to trial. Blind Squirrel says Ransom with Mel Gibson. Great movie. That's an excellent movie. Give me back my son. Misery with Kathy Bates. Yeah, that's a kidnapping movie. But when you think about Misery, you don't think, oh, it's a kidnapping movie. You think it's a movie about a writer and an obsessed fan. Yeah, Prisoners is a good movie. Good to see you, NoFX. Obsessed with it. Yeah, there's a lot of people out there that are reading this going, that's it? Hopefully you don't see my search history. That's just weird. Show me the most fucked up movie you have on Netflix. That's what I'm in the mood for tonight. Yep, Sybil, very odd. That's his thing. That's the motive. He's into it. Kidnapping, hostages. Sounds like he even wants to be a hostage. Chelsea Jade says he didn't really keep the girls hostage, so that makes no sense to me. I Google movies when they would come up about the case and gun stuff, but I agree. I would probably look up suspense or by genre. Yeah, or sometimes you just kind of explain. Sometimes you don't know the name of the movie or the actors, so you just kind of type in the general gist of the movie. But he was looking up 65 plus best kidnapping movies. Like, what the fuck? It's a little weird. I don't want to get Sleuth off his subject, but my couple minutes for lunch thoughts on Andrea B's writ mandamus. I don't have an opinion about it. I don't really know much about that person. I listened last night to a live stream and wasn't a big fan. A lot of sensationalism. Redfoot says, I wonder if Richard Allen was a fan of the movie My Bloody Valentine. I don't think I've seen that one. Good to see you, Redfoot. Yeah, that's true. Cynthia Breyer, he is 100% guilty. I hope the jury gets it right. Welcome in, Loxy. You ever see the horror movie Chaos? Mm-mm. Is it any good? Maybe. All right, let's go to a couple more and then we're going to bounce out of here. What's up, James Cope? Allen has spent his entire life with people making excuses for him. Mom, wife, prison shrink, and now he has Baldwin sitting there with his arm around him, patting his back, keeping him from a meltdown. That's what it looks like. Truffles. All right, guys, if I missed your comment, I apologize. There's just so many to go through. I'm just kind of picking them at random at this point. What's up, the Mad Cat? There is a movie in which a young serial killer kidnaps a psychologist and chains him up in the basement. The reason for the kidnapping being that he can't stop himself from killing and wants help. It's interesting. Tattoo You, what up? Good to see you, James. GP, what's going on? Hope you guys had a good Halloween. Let me check I have a real quick email. Thank you, Steven. Oh, shit. What do I do with that? All right. This is a screenshot from Barbara McDonald. The testing in 2017 could not exclude Weber's gun. The firearms examiner testified for the state that if she were to do her analysis again, after discovering Allen's gun as a match, she could exclude it now. The defense has subpoenaed Weber, so we will be hearing more about him. Okay, so she's saying she couldn't, but she could now. Thank you for that email. What's up, Joe Newman? Very weird. It's like you sit down with your wife. Hey, babe, you want to watch a movie? Sure, you pick. Okay, let me see what they got on Netflix here. The most fucked up movie made ever. Like, that shit is just weird. Like, I've enjoyed some pretty fucked up movies. Like Old Boy is a good one. Return of the Living Dead. But those are like specific searches. Brad, if it isn't The Big Lebowski, I ain't watching it. That's funny.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
His defense are toast. Nothing they can say changes the facts. I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure today is going to be interesting. Bridget Pelosi, welcome in. Yeah, Richard Allen has a lot of supporters. Hey, Big Bird 420, what up? Kitty Cat says at 8:30 a.m., guy was in a vehicle. First witness arrived at the bridge close to 4 p.m. Second witness 6 hours before. Welcome in, Shannon. Roy Hinckley, good to see you. The patient. Big Fish, don't look at my history. Hopefully we won't ever have a reason to. Hey, support with Stefa. Never looks up my Google searches because my true crime obsession, and especially this case. Yeah, but it would make sense. Like, Patrick, why are you looking up all these murder cases? Are you a killer? No, I have a true crime YouTube channel. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Richard Allen, why are you searching these specific things? Because I'm sick? Like, what's his excuse? What's up, Christine? Yeah, he did. That's true. I'm sure there's a lot of kidnappings on a lot of people's phones. Unfortunately. Question is, was Johnny Messer, in Delphi at the trails that day? Or does that even matter to most people? The end. Welcome in. Maybe he wanted to watch Taken. It's a good movie. Yeah, Tom was killing it yesterday. He had everybody cracking up. He was eating at the Pizza Hut in Delphi. All right. Special thanks to Alex for the super sticker. Thank you so much for sponsoring today's live stream. All of you mods who continue to keep the chat in check. All of the members and people who continue to donate to the Cash App and the Venmo. Thank you. You make this possible. And all of you, I hope you had a great Halloween. It's good to see everybody. Welcome in, Automobile. Everybody that I missed. If you need to get a hold of me, you can always shoot me an email at sleuthintuition@gmail.com. What's up, Kitty? Eating shit is no different than drinking. Oh, that's disgusting. It's healthy for your digestive system. I'd rather die. What's up, sweets? Good to see you guys. So we'll do this again tomorrow. Thank you, Truffles. I appreciate you guys. We'll meet again with. We'll have all the updates and we'll have a quick discussion about what's going on. We'll get your opinions on all these items that are up for discussion. Vic, you know about Return of the Living Dead? Yeah, you want to talk about a really good zombie movie? There you go. Excellent movie. Michelle DiNardo. Richard Allen tries telling on himself, but nobody will let him. It's messed up. Yeah, it's fucked up. What's going on? Necessary Evil. T Lemon. Oh, I'm sure they do. They have us all on some list. Potentially crazy. Curious or crazy? Question mark. It's a good way to put it, Shannon. All right, guys, I do apologize if I skipped over your comments. If you need to reach me for whatever reason, just shoot me an email. I'm cool with that. Thank you to everybody who did send emails today. I appreciate that. Like I said, just trying to be your one-stop shop. Keep all of the information pertaining to the Richard Allen's case here in one area, consolidated here on the Sleuth Intuition channel. So shout out to all of you who help. And I'll see you guys again around the same time tomorrow. Take care of yourselves. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.